Prioritizing gaming for the Quest 3 would be disastrous for Meta's VR future. VR gamers are wrong. The Verge is wrong. Here's why.
I think we're seeing like Meta's misunderstanding of what their audience is, because Meta's so focused on building the metaverse and getting every single person you knows into the metaverse. They forgot that they've just really built a really good game console and they're in the video game business.
When you make it a game console and you make it great, people buy it, they love it, they're going to play it more. When you start to be like, it's also a general purpose computer, it wants you to do things other than play games. I'm going to play NFL Pro Era. I'm going to be bad at being a quarterback for a while, and then I'm going to put this down.
That's from the Vergecast and a recent segment around the Meta roadmap leak. They were mostly reacting to this quote from Meta's VP of VR, Mark Rankin.
The current Quest is struggling to keep new users engaged. Right now, we're on our third year of Quest 2. And sadly, the newer cohorts that are coming in, the people who bought it this last Christmas, they're just not as into it or as engaged as the ones who bought it early.
So the takeaway by a lot of people is that Meta's problems come down to not enough great games on the platform. Add more quality AAA games and people will buy the console. If you build it, they will come. I don't think that's the story. I think there are three major reasons why gaming on the Quest doesn't matter as much as gamers want to believe. Number one, the game audience is fickle. So today's gaming audience doesn't have any allegiance to a single device. Gamers will go PSVR and or PCVR. And why shouldn't they? Those are dedicated gaming devices and they've got the tech to do them very well. If you're looking for immersive high-end gaming, why are you buying a Quest 3? Even if the chipset doubles in power, the PSVR 2 will just do that type of thing better. On Quest, for the audience that Meta wants, the tech for gaming just needs to be good enough. I think that most people will be satisfied with the upgrade of the Quest 3, just not gamers. So making gaming a focus, that's a huge mistake. Number two, the gaming audience alone isn't large enough for Meta to go all in on. If we're being honest, the gaming audience is good enough for free advertising and passionate word of mouth. But if you're looking at the numbers, and again, these are all approximations, the total combined sales of all other VR headsets, not including the Quest 2, is under 10 million units sold, and that's being very generous. Even when you take something like Echo Arena, which as of January 2023, when Meta announced that they were shuttering support, they only had an active player base of 6,000 people. So let's do some real quick napkin math. And again, these are all approximations. According to Art Hands VR, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners made $50 million in revenue on the Quest 2 store alone by October 2022. That's super impressive, right? So at $30 a pop, that's just under 1.7 million units sold. Now, while that's great for a small studio, or any studio developing in VR right now, that's not enough to build an entire market for on the Quest. Meta is spending a lot of money building the Quest, not just this platform, but the next one, and then the one after that. And you just can't spend that kind of money on a small user base. And finally, reason number three, probably the most important one, the 15 to 19 million new users who bought Quest don't care about your Resident Evil or your Bone Labs. During lockdown, did any of you show off the Quest 2? Maybe for your friends, maybe your family. Did anyone you know actually buy one? Personally, I've probably helped sell like 5. How many of those people are still using them? For me, that's a big fat 0. And yeah, I'm gonna say the quiet part out loud. People buying the Quest aren't using the Quest. Meta has a retention problem. The reality is that those people who bought the Quest during pandemic, they just don't care. They want Beat Saber. To that audience, the idea of using the Quest for work is a little appealing. If they're daring, they need a bigger screen for work from home. And they probably like tech. They just might bite on a Quest 3 or a Quest Pro if the experience is easy enough to use and integrates with their existing workflow. Also, Meta is incentivized to make more Beat Saber and dump more money into the greater goal of making the Quest a social platform. Horizon Worlds might be a mess of mismanagement right now, but of all the current social platforms on Quest, it has the most potential. I'll do a video focusing on Horizon Worlds soon. Finally, according to Road to VR, Beat Saber as of February 2021, which is full-on pandemic time, sold about 4 million copies and was rapidly increasing in sales. It's by far Meta's biggest success story. A lot of those newcomers to VR got into it just for Beat Saber, or Supernatural, or any of the other big pandemic fitness apps. That's who Meta is trying to get. Those people don't want to move from Beat Saber to Resident Evil. Meta is trying to convince them to move from Beat Saber to integrating the Quest into their daily lifestyle. They're failing miserably at it, but that's the goal. I know this all sounds like a bunch of doom and gloom, but there is an upside. Why does Meta care about gamers at all? Keeping gamers satisfied pretty much guarantees an endless supply of advertising and marketing. Enthusiasts want people to like what they like. We're also great at trying out new ideas. Meta's initiatives are just good enough so long as the price of the hardware stays within reason. And that's the real key, price to value. The Quest line is cheap enough for nearly everybody that wants to jump into the future to actually jump in. But do you think games should play a more prominent role in the future of Meta? Let me know in the comments. And until then, I'll see you in the future. Show out.